面的服务台领取，谢谢。
Sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. You feel alright when you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain to hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places. But the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south. Way on down south, London town.
RI Director Kim Bok-chiu, would you please come up to the stage?
He knows all the chords.
RI Director Kim Bok-chiu, would you please come to the stage? Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting will start in 2 minutes. The meeting will start in 2 minutes. Please be seated.
And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky tonk like anything. Saving it up Friday night.
Lady， OK， 各位女士先生，今天早上的会议依然会提供中文同步口译。若您有需要耳机，请现在到南侧外面的服务台来领取。各位女士先生，大家早安。今天会议依旧会提供中文同步口译。若您有需要耳机，请至南侧外面的服务台来领取。Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting will start in 1 minute. Please be seated. And we kindly remind you to turn your cell phone off or to switch it to silent mode. Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting will start soon. Please be seated. We kindly remind you to turn your cell phone off or to turn it to silent mode. 再次提醒各位女士先生，如果您需要同步口译耳机，请现在至南侧外面的服务台领取，谢谢。Okay. Call to order. Good morning, distinguished RI leaders, Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second plenary section of the 2023 Kaohsiung Rotary Institute for Zone 1B, Zone 9, and 10. Now, please welcome RI Director, also the co-convener of the 2023 Kaohsiung Rotary Institute, Kim Bok-chiu, to call the meeting to order. Please come up to the stage.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
大家早上好。
好。
So how was last evening? Did you enjoy? Good. Let's explain why the room is half empty. Anyway, to press on, I would like to call the second plenary session to order.
Woo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Invocation. May we please have Lady Tumogong, partner of past RI Director Galir Tumogong, alone was past RI Director Tumogong to lead the player together. Please come up to the stage. Please give them a big round of applause. 请掌声鼓励，我们欢迎 Lady Tumogong and Golir Tumogong 来为我们做今天早上的祈祷。
Good morning.
Good morning.
Since Rotary is family affair, Letty and I decided to recite the interfaith together. Christian, Islam, Ecumenical, Dalai Lama. I'm not so sure about your tradition, but in our case, in the Philippines, during the invocation, we request everybody to please rise. With your permission, can we ask everybody to please rise?
Please stand up, please. 请大家起立，谢谢。
O God of the universe, author of life, true creator of hope, sustainer of all that is and will ever be, our King and our Lord, Jehovah, Allah, loving Father of all humanity and giver of all good. We acknowledge your awesome presence in our midst and our lives. We thank you for this grand opportunity to be together as one Rotary family from different countries, cultures, and faiths.
You said, everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and those who knock, the door will be open. We give glory to you. Lift up our Rotary Action Plan and our guiding principles at our offering in gratitude. We pray for forgiveness and the intergenerational healing so that legacy of love and benevolence may flow steadily through us. Open our hearts, heads, hands, and let our homes and homes club be the locus of our hope.
Never lose hope. Our situation will improve. Do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Truly, Allah forgives all wrong actions. He is the giver and ever forgiving, the most merciful. We humbly seek guidance that we may continue to live, lead, and serve you for the greater good, wholly and willingly all our days.
And solidarity, our adapted communities, schools, families, government units, partner organizations, and corporations. We lift up the yearning and prayer petition of the people we serve and those in the silence of our heart.
May the poor find wealth, the weak find joy, the forlorn find hope, constant happiness and prosperity. May the ill or injured find cure and freedom from ailments. May diseases in the world never recur, and may there be bountiful harvest for the health of our mothers and the world's children.
We surrender to the ministry of the Holy Spirit. Receive your truth and dedication ourselves. Grant us wisdom, compassion, and courage to create hope and the world together.
As we walk together along Rotary's pathway to lasting change, we beseech you to break all forms of bondage and disturbance remaining in our generation and fill the families, present and future, with light, love, peace, joy, healing, health, and integrity. Give us the time to be patient, understanding, thoughtful, cheerful, persevering, valuing our brothers and sisters in Rotary, and believing in the transformative power of true friendship.
You will be done.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invocation. Please be seated. Now, we would like to start this morning's meeting by inviting RI President Gordon McLanley to deliver a speech. Please, RI President, please come up to the stage. Big round of applause for RI President Gordon McLanley.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Ni hao. Mabuhay. Thank you for giving me this further opportunity to speak with you. I appreciate the chance. I hope you're all enjoying this wonderful institute. Looking out at the empty seats this morning, I suspect some people are really enjoying this institute last night and are probably still asleep in their beds. Yesterday, I talked in a rather philosophical way about our mission to create hope in the world. I talked about love. Today, I would like to talk in a slightly more practical way about where and how I have seen hope created in our world. Like many of you, I have been fortunate enough to see the many beneficiaries of Rotary's programs around the world. Just before the coronavirus attack struck, I witnessed people suffering from acute toothache, walking miles to a dental clinic in rural Kenya, where I was working as a volunteer and which was supported by a global grant from our Rotary Foundation. They were doing that in the hope that their pain and their suffering would be relieved. Their pain was relieved and they suffer no more, thanks to Rotary, thanks to each and every one of you. In April of this year, in Nagpur in India, I met Sudeep, a man who had lost a leg and had been confined to a wheelchair, be fitted with an artificial limb during a limb-fitting camp that meant that he, like 300 other people that day, could walk for the first time in years. Sudeep walks and is able to provide for his wife and family. He's regained his self-respect. He has had hope created, thanks to Rotary, thanks to each and every one of you. And if I close my eyes, I'm back in Pakistan in October of 2022. And I can see those 2 precious drops of vaccine fall into the mouth of Ahmed, a Pakistani child, when I took part in an immunization program as part of World Polio Day. Perhaps more importantly, I can see the look of gratitude on the face of his mother as she looked into my eyes, knowing that her child would no longer run the risk of contracting that crippling disease, creating hope for his future. Thanks to Rotary, thanks to each and every one of you. Only 2 weeks ago in Buenos Aires in Argentina, I spent time with the children at Escuela Diana, where for almost 60 years, the Rotary Club of Remedios de Escalada has been providing education for the deaf and hard of hearing in a community where otherwise they might not have had that opportunity. Many of these young people have gone on to live a self-sustaining future, obtaining gainful employment, having hope created in their world, thanks to Rotary, thanks to each and every one of you. And if I may, I would like to share with you in slightly more detail another story of where Rotary creates hope in the world. In August of last year, in Manila, I had the opportunity to visit the De Los Santos Medical Center in Quezon City, which for a number of years has been the site of a wonderful partnership which sees the poorest of the poor children of the Philippines gain access to free surgeries for congenital heart defects, thanks to the support of our Rotary Foundation and others. The surgeries being carried out not only save their lives, they allow these children to become normal, happy, and achieving. During my visit to De Los Santos, I had the opportunity to visit the recovery ward and to meet several patients who had long had surgery and to greet them and their parents. Parents who were so grateful to Rotary for everything we had done for their children. As I left the ward, I was invited to witness at first hand a surgery about to be carried out on Anna, a young 4-year-old girl with a hole in her heart. A hole in her heart that, were it to be left untreated, would limit her life and ultimately cause her early death. As a dental surgeon, having carried out my fair share of oral surgeries over the years, I was no stranger to the operating room, and so I was happy to watch this little girl's procedure, a procedure that was going to save her life. As I stood close to the operating table, marveling at the skills of the young pediatric cardiac surgeon performing the operation, I felt my cell phone tremble in my pocket. Once the operation was complete and the little girl was safely in the recovery room, I took out my phone to discover a WhatsApp message from Scotland with a photograph showing my then 4-year-old granddaughter, Ivy, with a beaming smile on her face in her new school uniform. For that very day, at the very moment I was witnessing little Anna's operation, Ivy was setting off for her first ever day at elementary school. As I stared at the photograph on my phone, blinking back the tears in my eyes, I thought of little Anna, whose operation I had just witnessed, and the fact that she too would soon be well enough to embark on the journey of education on which Ivy was embarking. She too would be able to enjoy a normal, happy, and achieving life. I'm always conscious the only dividend we receive on our Rotary service is the thanks from those we serve. And I am equally conscious that very often those thanks do not reach us, frequently for the best of reasons. So on behalf of the people of rural Kenya, on behalf of Sudeep in India, on behalf of Ahmed in Pakistan, on behalf of the students of Escuela Diana in Buenos Aires, and on behalf of little Anna in the Philippines, I say thank you to every one of you. These, like so many of our beneficiaries, are people you will never meet. They are people whose names you might never have known. But they are people whose lives will be changed and, in many cases, saved, thanks to each and every one of you. Of course, for us to continue to do good in the world, we need to continue to serve. You may have heard this story before, but I believe it illustrates that rather well. It was told by Toni Morrison, the 1993 Nobel Prize winner for literature, in her acceptance speech. And I think it has relevance for all of us. High on a hilltop, overlooking the beautiful city of Venice in Italy, there lived a wise old man who many people called a genius. Legend had it that he could answer any question posed to him. Two local boys decided they could fool the old man. Thinking they had a plan that was perfectly foolproof, the boys caught a small bird and headed for the hilltop. As they approached the wise old man, one of the boys held the bird in his hands. "Wise old man," he said, "can you tell me if this bird is alive or dead?" The old man assessed the two boys carefully, and without hesitation he answered, "Son, if I tell you the bird is alive, you will close your hands and crush it to death. If I tell you the bird is dead, you will open your hands and he will fly away. Because you see, you have the power of his hand, life and death, in your hands." And I would venture to suggest that that is exactly how it is for us as regards Rotary. We hold the power of its future in our hands, just as we hold the power of life and death of our many beneficiaries. My Rotary friends, my Rotary family, as I draw these remarks to a close, can I urge you to continue your Rotary service and encourage others to join us as we continue to create hope in the world. Thank you once again for the most wonderful time here in Taiwan. Each and every one of you is a credit to the badge you wear, and I am proud, very proud, to belong to the same family as you. Shei Shei. Salamat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for RI President for the very insightful and inspiring speech. Thank you. Please be seated. Next, let's welcome TRF Trustee Chair Representative Mark Moroney to come up to the stage to deliver his speech. A big round of applause to Trustee Chair Representative.
Ni hao,
Ni hao.
mabuhay.
Hi.
What's the, oh, good morning.
Good morning.
It is a pleasure to be with you here again this morning at this zone's 1B, 9, and 10 Rotary Institute. President Gordon McAnally, without realizing it, has set the stage for my remarks here today. He has given you examples of the good works of Rotary that he and his wife Heather have witnessed in their travels as President-elect and President of Rotary International. And one of the best perquisites of the job of being President of Rotary International is the ability, the opportunity to see the good works of Rotary around the world. And today, I would like to share with you in more detail one personal experience that my wife, Gay, and I had during the time that I was president of Rotary International. In December 2019, Gay and I left the Rotary Institute in Korea and traveled to Hanoi, Vietnam. which at that time was not yet a Rotary country. And we had the opportunity to participate in a medical mission along with Rotarians from Korea, Rotarians from Southern California, in conjunction, in partnership with the organization Operation Smile. And this was a medical mission to perform cleft lip and cleft palate surgeries for very young children. Now, the organizers of this event, there were many Rotarians, and each Rotarian was assigned to one child who was there for the surgery, so that you get that personal connection, just like President Gordon had with Anna in Manila, I think it was. And so this young girl is 5 months old. As you can see, she's in desperate need of cleft lip surgery and also cleft palate surgery. And there I am, even without a tie, there I am meeting this young lady at the first time. Okay. I'm sorry. What are you doing? I'm sorry? I have the clicker. I mean, someone's moving the slides. No, I wish to move myself. Thank you. I thought we worked this all out earlier. I came up here and tried to work this out to make sure. Anyway, so we moved with this young girl through the registration process and the assessment process. And as you can see, she is a beautiful young girl. Now, she came with her father and her mother's sister. This is in Hanoi. They came from a village in the far north of Vietnam, traveled by bus overnight. And you might wonder, why was the mother not with the baby? Well, the mother and the father have a fish shop in their village, and the fish shop was engaged to cater a wedding that weekend, so the mother stayed back to handle the business, while the father and the mother's sister came to Hanoi. And so here, as you can see, is Dr. Mark. That's what it says on the top of my, whatever you call that, the shower cap, on top of the cap, not shower cap, but the surgery cap. As you can see, I'm a highly trained medical professional. And so here is Dr. Mark carrying the young girl into surgery. She was not happy to be with me instead of with her father, as you can see. I had the opportunity, she's still crying there, the opportunity to hand her over to the doctors who would undertake the surgery. And unlike President Gordon, I am not accustomed to being in an operating theater. But I stood my ground and I watched the entire surgery. Gay was a few steps behind. And so we watched the surgery, and here is after the surgery is over, and you can see the bandages on her lips, and she is handed back to Dr. Mark, and I have the opportunity to carry this young girl and return her to her father. Now, we learned from the father through interpreters. You know, he comes from a minority community in the north of Vietnam. I would say he was no more than 25 years old at the time. But as we get to the end of this story, the connection between this father and Gay and me was incredible. So here is the father, and he is singing a lullaby in French. You know, remember, he's not Vietnamese, he's a minority group Vietnamese, but he's singing a lullaby in French because that region used to be French Indochina to his baby girl. Gay and I, as children, learned the same lullaby also in French, Frère Jacques. And we had the opportunity to sing the lullaby along with the father to his baby girl. Well, I've gone too far now. And so, to finish the story, we learned that the father and the mother knew before the child was born that the child would have this defect upon birth. And the father told us that there were some who suggested that they should have an abortion to eliminate the baby. And he said, we are Buddhist and we do not believe in abortion. But he had enough foresight that he did research on the internet before the child was born and learned that this could be corrected. And so, in following the tenets of his faith and knowing that there was an opportunity to correct this, they proceeded with the birth. The story ends, for us, with this Buddhist young man who has disappeared, this Buddhist young man coming here. We think we're there to support him. But instead, he comes to us, this Buddhist young man, and makes the Christian sign of the cross on the foreheads of each of Gay and myself. President Gordon said that one of the dividends of our service is the thanks of those whom we serve. We had the opportunity to, in a very personal special way to receive thanks from this young man. But I would propose that there is another dividend, and that dividend is the satisfaction that we receive in knowing that we have done good work, in knowing that we have made a life better, in knowing that we have changed the entire future for this one young girl. All of us have Rotary moments. Gay and I have been fortunate to have many Rotary moments. But this is one of those moments that had perhaps the greatest impact emotionally on Gay and me. I was asked today to provide an inspirational message at this time, and I hope that you find inspiration in the experience that Gay and I have had in this example in Vietnam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Another big round of applause for Chair Representative Mark Maloney for his touching story. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Last but not the least, the next special speaker, she was born in Taiwan, and she is currently living in LA, Los Angeles. And she is the mayor of a big city called Cupertino, and also the district governor from 5170. Next, please, a big round of applause to welcome District Governor Hong Wei from District 5170 to give us her speech.
Good morning, District Governors and dignitaries, leaders of Rotary, my fellow Rotarians, family, and friends. It's my deepest honor to be here, where it's beautiful island that I grew up with. I graduated from Taipei First Girls High School and National Taiwan University. So this is like homecoming to me. It's always wonderful to be here to represent District 5170 as District Governor, but also the Mayor of Cupertino in California, USA, as one of the cities that's well known in the world for, anybody can guess? Apple Computer calls Cupertino home. So I've been always asked, lots of people ask me, how do you do this? How do you be District Governor with 63 clubs, about 4,000 Rotarians, and also take the responsibilities of managing a big city like Cupertino? So I'm going to share 3 secrets with you. But of course, after today, they're not going to be secret anymore. So the first one is, I only do one thing at a time. Today, I'm here at Kaohsiung Zone Rotary Institute. My heart, my head are here with you. I'm not going to worry about next Wednesday when I go home. Thursday, there's a city council meeting. Many people are going to come to talk about agenda items. I'm going to worry about that when I get home. Here, I'm with my Rotarian friends. We're learning, making connections together. So I do one thing at a time. My second secret is, I only do what I love to do. I love my city work. I love Rotary. So when you receive an email from me at 3:30 a.m., I am not working. I'm doing something I really love to do. And I do that very often. People receive emails from me at 2:30 a.m., 3:30 a.m., sometimes 4:30 a.m. My third secret is very, very personal. Who here loves to cook? Raise your hand if you love to cook. All right, we got a few hands out there. I cook away, President Gordon, because you love to cook. You're doing something you love to do. I never cook. I don't buy groceries. I don't cut vegetables. I don't wash dishes. I'll tell you how much I don't cook. This one year, I lost my refrigerator for 3 weeks, and I did not even miss it. So I got a lot of time to do something I love to do. That aside, we're here in Rotary Zone Institute. So let's talk about Rotary. What is Rotary? Who are Rotarians? Do you have a Rotary story? Mark and Gordon share their Rotary stories. I want to share my Rotary story with you. So picture this with me. Picture a small boy whose father was never home, whose mother was an alcoholic. Every morning, he woke himself up, put on whatever dirty clothes or cleaner clothes he could find, grabbed whatever food was left on the kitchen table, and he went to school. He loved school. School was exemplary. His parents could never afford to buy him much, but somehow, when school started, someone handed him a brand new backpack with pencils, crayons, stationeries. Somehow, before the winter holiday, someone handed him a nice warm jacket. Somehow in the spring, a pair of new sneakers or a couple nice t-shirts. He didn't know who were those invisible people that gave him all those, but he loved it. He studied hard, went to college, got a job in Silicon Valley, bought a house, got married, raised a family. Time flew by, he retired. And one of his friends said, could be one of you, said, hey, you retired now, why don't you join Rotary? He didn't know what Rotary was, but he joined for fellowship. Then he participated in a couple club service projects, and one of them was back to school backpacks. While he was stuffing pencils, crayons, stationeries into brand new backpacks, it dawned on him that those invisible people that helped him along the way changed his life could be Rotarians. So he vowed at that moment to always be that invisible person to help a child in need, a family in crisis, or a village that needs water. This Rotary story of my friend's life was told in my family room while I was fundraising for my club's endowment fund. His life story is my Rotary story. I want to first congratulate each and every one of you. You are that invisible person. Every project you do in your community, in the world, changes lives. But those people you helped, they don't know who you are, what you look like, what you do. But they know invisible people help them change their lives. So first, I want to thank you for being that invisible person. That's my first message. You're already that invisible person. You help change lives in your communities and in the world. My second message to you is, be a happy Rotarian. You cannot attract people to do service with you, to connect with you, Thank you. Well, there's a disruption story, but I can continue. We do need the microphone. I have a teacher's voice, but I don't think I can reach all the way to the back.
Test.
Technical difficulty. So did everyone have a good breakfast?
Hello, hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
that's important.
Let's see whether this one works.
Okay, thank you. So, yes, this one works. So my second message is, let's continue. Be a happy Rotarian. You know, you cannot attract people to do service with you or join your club if you are not a happy Rotarian. People love happy people, so be a happy Rotarian. My third message is, be a lifetime Rotarian. I always say, family and work come first. Rotary can wait. But by joining a Rotary club, You are part of 1.2 million people doing good in the world. You're part of something bigger than you are. So no matter where you are, join a Rotary Club. The message are very simple. You're already an invisible person that makes difference, that changes lives. Be a happy Rotarian and be a lifetime Rotarian. President Gordon has inspired us with his vision, his experience, his dedication to Rotary. Yesterday, he told us that he shared his family story for the very first time in Orlando to incoming district governors, and I was one of that. Gordon's story deeply touched me. President Gordon had a brother. His name was Ian, a very successful person in his profession, had a lovely family. Not his family nor his friends realized that Ian suffered in silent mental health and depression until the day he took his own life. President Gordon, with one of his goals is he wants Rotary to be an organization known to take care of its members. This is not just personal, this has deep meaning. President Gordon, you inspire me to share my story. The most difficult question anyone can ask me in a social occasion like this is, how many kids do you have? It took me a while to come up with this answer. I have 2 boys now. Most people don't pick up the now. The conversation goes to, where are your boys? What do they do? I had a daughter. On January 9, 2004, I took her to San Francisco Airport. She was 19 and a half, a sophomore in college. She met a man that summer who was from New York. So she transferred herself from UCLA to New York University. Her words to me, Mom, I want to be with my soulmate. That was January 9, 2004. I said goodbye to my daughter in San Francisco Airport. March 6, 2004, she jumped off a tall building in New York of her boyfriend's department. I'm not talking about relationship here. I'm talking about my daughter, who was 19 and a half, a teenager, President Gordon's brother, a 52-year-old mature man. Both of them suffered depression, and the only way they could see to get out of the pain is to leave the world. We may have family, friends, our Rotary members that are going through the same phases. So let's go deeper, as President Gordon suggests. Let's ask, how are you really? A couple months after my daughter passed, I received a letter from New York University. It was one of her professors. In this letter, this professor says, Mrs. Chen, I couldn't sleep for weeks after your daughter passed because the day before, she waited at his office door to turn in a paper that was due. And he said, your daughter looked completely different. So he said to ask, Diana, what happened? But he said, your daughter just said, oh, I had a really bad case of flu. So he let her go. When she passed away the next day, the professor could not stop blaming himself. Why didn't I bring her in? Why didn't I ask more questions? Why didn't I give her a hug? I wrote the professor back. In this world, there is no what ifs. Things happen. But next time, when opportunities comes along, we will reach out to our family, to our friends, to our Rotary members, and to say, how are you really doing? Let's have a chat. Let's help each other. So President Gordon's goal for Rotary to be known as an organization that takes care of our members has deep meaning. Mental health is a stigma still. So let's work together to make sure our family, our friends, and our Rotary members give them hope. We create hope in the world, in our communities. Let's create hope in our own clubs. On a happier note, I want to let you know, next year, March 6, 2024, would mark the 20th year that my daughter left me. There's not one day that passes in this past 20 years that I don't think of her. But I don't think of her in tears now. She lives in my heart. When I eat good food, I'm eating that with her. When I watch a good movie, she's watching with me. When I do service, we're doing it together. I vowed to live a doubly happy life because I'm living the life of myself and my daughter. So if you ever lose a loved one, they live in your heart. They want you to be happy. Live a doubly, triply life so that you're carrying your loved ones into the future to create more hope in the world, in the communities, and in ourselves. So before closing, I want to repeat again my messages to you. You are already that invisible person that makes a difference in people's life. Be a happy Rotarian, be a lifetime Rotarian, do what you love to do, and carry your loved one into the future. In closing, I want to give you this image. Who here loves Charlie and Snoopy? I love Charlie and Snoopy. I'll share with you my favorite picture. Charlie and Snoopy sit on a bridge overlooking the water. And Charlie says, "We only live once." Don't we say that very often? We only live once. Let's do the best we could. But Snoopy says, "No, we only die once. We live every day." So my fellow Rotarians, every day when you wake up, it's a brand new day to create hope in the world, in our communities, in our clubs, and in ourselves. I want to thank you for giving me the time to share my Rotary story and my family story. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please put your hands together for a big round of applause for the loving and moving story from our District Governor, Hong Wei. Thank you very much for the touching story and the enlightening speech. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Next, we are going to have a 10 minutes break. Please enjoy the refreshment we prepare for you. And please come back at 10 o'clock. Please come back at 10 o'clock for the next section. Thank you very much. 各位，现在我们要进行10分钟的休息时间，我们将在10点钟再次进行下一场的演讲，请大家趁这个时间可以前往后方的茶点区来享用我们的茶点。谢谢。我们下一场的开始时间是10点整，10点整，谢谢。
1、2、1、2、3。
嘿嘿。嘿嘿嘿嘿。
If you graduate from National Taiwan University or Taipei First Girls School, come up here, we're going to take a picture together.
如果你是台大毕业的，或是北一女毕业的，可不可以到前面跟我们的这个 speaker 一起拍照？因为他想跟台大的校友还有北一女的校友一起合照，请大家可以到前面来。